Hello, Planet Internet. I'm Emperor Cole, and this is Emperor Cole Film Review, brought to you by MindBenderENT.com. And today I'm here to review Captain Marvel, the long-awaited film, of course, from Marvel Studios. Now, this is going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you want to see the actual spoiler review, check that out on the YouTube channel, and that's the one where I'm going to go into depth and talk about specific things. So, everybody who's ready for this non-spoiler review, let's get ready to go further, faster, and higher. Let's do it! Okay, so Captain Marvel is directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. So now this movie was Marvel's very first time having a female lead character and of course the lead superhero role. So this movie had a lot to live up to as far as expectations. And at the same time, a lot of the fans were not very enthused at what they saw from the performance and some of the trailers from Brie Larson. And at the same time, a lot of people weren't very happy with her being cast in the role because they kind of felt like it was uninspired casting. So of course, she had to prove to people that she was going to be good in the role. That's what we were waiting to see. I think Brie Larson's performance as Captain Marvel was actually okay. I believe her acting was on par with the way the character was actually written. And basically, this character doesn't have very much of a story arc or very much of a character arc in the actual film. So I won't go into specifics, but she starts out as a badass character who's rebellious. And by the end of the movie, she's still a badass character who's rebellious. Usually in films, something happens where the person changes their way of thinking or something happens that affects them emotionally. So by the end of the film, they're a little bit different, they're a little bit changed. Captain Marvel, not so much. So once again, that's the way the movie's written. That's the way the story plays out. That's not on her. That's not her fault. I enjoyed the chemistry between her and Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson, of course, playing a younger Nick Fury. And of course, this is long before he becomes the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he's just a regular agent who's trying to basically find his way. We see a much happier Nick Fury. And of course, we see Nick Fury with two eyes. And the chemistry between him and Brie Larson, I thought was very well in this film. They did very good at having kind of like the buddy cop type of element. The story of Captain Marvel, this movie definitely goes very sci-fi, and it even takes place on, there's some alien worlds, there's some battles that take place on some foreign alien planets, and of course sci-fi is my favorite genre of movie, so I enjoyed those elements in the actual film. This movie goes very cosmic, where they show you that the Marvel Universe is definitely expanding, and all the adventures going forward are definitely not going to be taking place on Earth. That was something that I enjoyed because it shows that the universe is much bigger than just the things that take place on planet Earth. In the backdrop of the storyline of this movie, the Kree-Skrull War is definitely going on, and the Kree-Skrull War is something that is very highly intense in the actual comic books, and it's even mentioned in some of the cartoons. They've got a couple cartoon episodes that are dedicated to it. The way it was handled in the movie, I thought was okay, but they did something very political that made one of the sides seem very, very weak and kind of made the issue seem kind of lopsided. So the way that I understand why they did it, given the political climate of the things going on in the world now, but I kind of feel like they kind of overstepped the boundary a little bit with this one, because like I said, it made one side in the conflict seem very, very weak and very hapless. So I mean, nice try, but the Kree-Skrull War could have been handled a little bit better. Also, I love that this movie has a theme of female empowerment, where there are several women or female characters who are in supporting roles, and of course they're doing very prominent things that you would normally see males doing. But I love the fact that there is no dialogue where they're saying, oh, even though I'm a woman, I can do it too. There are no scenes where there's a man doing something and suddenly the woman comes up to do it, to show that she can do it too. It's a subtle thing that's running throughout the movie, and I thought they did a very good job at baking it in, where it's very casual and it's very normal. Like, it's not forced that a woman is the lead scientist on this particular project. It's not forced that we have women who are like Air Force pilots or anything like that. It's just naturally there, and no one has to say it or point it out. So the movie has some very good action sequences. Of course, the fights that are taking place, like I said, there are some fights that take place in some alien worlds, couple fights and battles and chase sequences that take place on Earth. One little bit of a problem that I foresee going forward with this character of Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel is going to have the Superman problem. What do I mean? Superman is so strong that they have a very hard time writing or finding characters to actually fight him, to actually give him a little bit of a challenge. the Captain Marvel character is going to have that same issue where, for example, in the comic books, Thanos was really, really ridiculously strong. So for the movie Infinity War, they had to power Thanos down and make him a little bit more of a less super villain so that people could actually fight him so it wouldn't be such a quick and short movie. Captain Marvel, on the other hand, this character is so strong, has so many powers and abilities, that it's going to be tough for them to explain how anybody can even do anything with her. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's handled in the end game, actually. This movie is set in 1995, and this movie has a lot of 90s references and 90s music and things of that nature. For example, when she falls into the blockbuster, that's not a spoiler because that's actually in the trailer, but when she crash lands to Earth, she falls into a blockbuster video. That made me laugh because it's one of those things we sit and think about it where a lot of people who are going to see this movie might be 12, 13, 14 years old, and they really have no idea what blockbuster video is. So that was something I found to be pretty amusing. And for anybody wondering who may be young, Blockbuster Video was Netflix before Netflix, but you actually had to physically go to a place inside of the store to actually rent out the movies that you were going to look at. So, okay, so now it's time for me to give Captain Marvel a score on the MindBender movie meter. As stated before, this is my non-spoiler review. If you want to see my spoiler review where I talk about specific things, specific scenes, definitely check that out. It's on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel address is right here below. So, I'm going to have to give Captain Marvel a score of 79%, 79% on the MindBender movie meter. Also, the first end credit scene, you definitely want to make sure you stay to see that. So, when the credits start to run, sit in your seats, do not leave. The end credit scene is going to blow your socks off. It's that serious. So, not going to spoil it, but I enjoyed it a whole lot. So, this has been my non-spoiler review for Captain Marvel. If you want to see the spoiler review, check it out on the YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, check us out on Instagram, and of course, follow us on Twitter. And remember, the future is now.